Ashington was developed from a small hamlet in the 1840s as the wealthy Duke of Portland built housing to encourage people to come and work at its nearby collieries. In 1867, the Bothell mining shaft was sunk, and as coal mining expanded, 5 collieries were developed into the new Ashington area. The year 1867 is therefore significant due to the increase of development in the town. Ashington Coal Company built parallel rows of colliery housing, and newcomers came from the countryside and as far away as Ireland and Cornwall. The colliery housing in the Hurst End were named after trees such as the hawthorn and the chestnut. The town became a center for the coal mining industry and was considered to be the world's largest coal mining village, with inhabitants having a distinctive dialect known as Pitmatic. The growing coal industry also necessitated a rail link, and passenger rail services were also provided. In 1934, some of the Ashington miners enrolled in painting classes as an alternative pastime and began to produce paintings to sell at some local markets to supplement their wages. They achieved unexpected success and approval from the art community and were given prestigious gallery exhibitions under the name the Pitmen Painters. Although the group had called themselves the Ashington Group, the book Pitmen Painters by William Fever recorded the development of the Ashington Group and was subsequently made into a stage play by Lee Hall and Billy Elliot. The play has now been seen in places from Broadway to Venice areas.
I'm going to let Mrs. Wilkinson use the bottom end of the boxing hall for her ballet lessons. So no hanky-panky, understood? Elliot, you're late. Get changed and get in here. Right then, lads. Now give it all you got. Round 1. Well, don't just stand there, Elliot. Oh, God, not again. This is man-to-man combat, not a bloody tea dance. What you doing, man? Hit him! Crazy, he's just pissing about. Now get stuck in and give him a belt. It's like a fanny in a fit. Fire! Michael! Jesus Christ, Billy Elliot. You're a disgrace to them gloves, your father, and the traditions of this box and all. Yours 50 pence. Oh! Liberace! Will you give it a rest? Billy, punch back.
In 1986, closure of Bates Colliery. This ended the long tradition of coal mining in the borough, and with its a strengthening of the council's economic development strategies in a resolve to bring new employment to the town. The sinking of West Slade Colliery began on the 6th of August 1900, and the colliery opened in 1903. West Slade had workings connected with the nearby. The sinking of Wheatslade Colliery began on the 6th of August 1900, and the colliery opened in 1903. Wheatslade had workings connected with the nearby Burradon Colliery. Though the two mines had separate ventilation systems, the colliery was a branch of the Seaton Burn Wagonway. In the 1910s, Wheatslade Colliery was owned by the Burradon and Coxlodge Coal Co. Limited Company, And then in the 1940s, Hasler Ridge and the Burradon Coal Company. In 1947, Wheatslade Colliery was recorded as producing 160,000 tons of coal for household manufacturing and steam production. By 1960, there were 638 people employed at the colliery, 488 working below ground and 150 working on the surface. Wheatslade Colliery closed on the 10th of September 1966. The site continued to be used as a washery until 1980 before being left abandoned for many years. The site later was landscaped to become Wheatslade Colliery Country Park, which opened in 2006.
Cambois Colliery in County Durham was sunk in the 1840s, and the colliery itself was open to mining from 1840s right up to 1968 when it closed. The mine itself employed about 900 people around the 1890s, and by 1914 there was over 1,000 people working in the mine. By 1965 that number had dropped to 818 and slowly went down over the years until the mine was actually closed. The mine itself produced coal, it produced fire clay, and also produced steam. And of those workers that worked down the mine, I have here some interesting facts and figures from the mining industry. For example, one particular miner started work in 1957 at 15 years of age. His first wage packet was only £5 a week. So imagine that, £5 a week. At 17, he had his own pit pony, which he looked after, and if he mistreated in any way, he was actually either jailed or he could lose his job. So the pit ponies were really, really important. And when the mine did close, all those ponies were let free out on the land to retire from the mines. In the 1960s, the pay went up to £15 a week. And when you're working down the mine, some of the miners worked in very small seams. One seam was only 1 foot, 1 inch in height. Small area. They had to crawl down to mine and crawl back out. Long hours in the mines. If they didn't crawl down with their equipment the right way round, they had to crawl back out and put equipment from them. So you had to get all your equipment ready and go down, because it was very difficult to then backtrack to get your equipment. Each miner in the mines were given a token with a personalised number on it, and they signed this token out in the morning going down the mines. When they returned after their shift, they signed it back in again. So if somebody didn't return to sign out, then we knew somebody was missing, and then the search party was obviously sent out to make sure the miner was okay. Because there were accidents, and there were people sadly killed in some of these mines with the seams caving in and some of the structures collapsing. So it was quite a dangerous job. The mine itself in Cambois had its own railway line to transport the coal from the colliery to other train stations to the coast, and then it was either exported around the UK or abroad or used locally. The miners themselves, they didn't get free coal, but they could get coal from the mine for their homes, but it came out of their wages. So their homes were heated, but the coal was actually taken from their wages. Like I said, the mine was closed in 1972. 1968, but 1972 there was a mining community got together. They didn't want their little pit villages to be destroyed, because people lived there for many years, so they were protesting to save them from being destroyed. Nowadays that particular area is all being redeveloped. We've got housing, we've got play areas, we've got people employed down there, and the whole area is being developed as a sort of modernised economy. Just to sort of backdrop briefly with the miners as well, this is a picture of actually the lift, the concrete lift that took them down from the surface all the way down to the actual seams. And you can see a couple of miners there with their mining lamps and all their gear on, heading down to their long shift on the ground. I also have from an actual miner the certificate of training. This is like your employment contract. So when they were trained and brought down the pits, they qualified to be in the mine, they were signed as being fully trained, and that was the certificate that proved that they could work down the mine. So there, hopefully, is a little bit of history of the local Cambois mine in County